Keep watching to find out what I've been up to this week, what I've been sewing and what's new in the sewing community. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tamlyn and this is Sewn on the Tyne, and I'm here today with a new style of video for you. For a while I've wanted to do a weekly catch-up type of video, slightly informal, more chatty, just to let you know what I've been up to in the previous few days. And I've finally got around to filming my first one. Now this video is going to be more relaxed, it's not going to be really highly edited, there's not going to be loads of things put into the background, because what I'm hoping is that I'm going to be editing these weekly videos myself. So as you'll know if you watch my videos already, my amazing and extremely talented husband Sam edits all of my videos, and he puts so much work in and puts loads of different effects in and all sorts of brilliant things into these videos, and I really appreciate him doing that, and those will continue in my other videos. But I wanted to do just a short weekly catch-up video that wouldn't have all of that extra stuff in. It'll just be me chatting to you, maybe showing you a couple of things that I've been doing this week, which is why I'm up close and personal with my mannequin right now. So yeah, I hope that's okay with you, and I hope you're going to enjoy this new style of video. I'm hoping that this will be with you on either a Monday or a Tuesday every week. Obviously you know that we've got a young baby. He'll be 9 months this week coming up, but you know, things are unpredictable when you have a young child, especially now that he's pretty much crawling and we have to have eyes in the back of our heads. So yeah, so hopefully it'll be with you on a Monday or a Tuesday every week. That's what we're going to be aiming for. So what have I been up to this week? Well, first of all, I had been working on a pattern test for a shirt for Taylor, and if you follow me on Instagram you'll have seen sneak peeks of this shirt, but I thought I would show you it. Oh, I need to show. I should have buttoned it up really. So here we go. It's just absolutely adorable. I really love it. I really enjoy the process of making this shirt. The instructions were absolutely fantastic. It's by Shakalaka Patterns. I hope I've said that correctly. And yeah, just the instructions were amazing. To think that I sewed an actual little shirt for Taylor and it was an enjoyable process and I didn't get stuck on any of the steps. So I'm actually really proud of that. But it does go to show that the instructions were great. This fabric is actually one that Sam bought me ages ago. Well, right at the start of my sewing journey really, from Sew Me Sunshine. He just got me a metre of this and another cotton, and I never really knew what to do with it, but this was the perfect project. Then I've sewn in some labels, so into there I've got Made by Mummy, which is from Little Rosy Cheeks. And then on the bottom I've got Made for Greatness, which is again Little Rosy Cheeks. Just absolutely love those labels. And yeah, it's just adorable. So when the pattern is released I will give you lots more information about it, but I just wanted to show you that I've been sewing that up. And then I've also put aside this fabric to make him another one, so I'm going to make the short sleeved version this time using this fabric which I picked up from the Specky seamstress, from Laura. She was having a little de-stash and this fabric was available, so I snapped that up for our little moon baby, our little Taylor Apollo. I thought that was perfect fabric for him. And then the other thing that I've been getting up to this week is sewing this. Again, if you follow me on Instagram, I've been talking about this project. So this week, very excitingly, the new pattern was released by Tilly and the Buttons, and that is the Lyra shirt dress. So it's a lovely shirt dress but with some different features, such as these billowy sleeves, this tiered skirt, this tie that goes around the waist. I'm not actually making this version, I'm making the version on the back here, which is the tiered skirt still, but it's got short sleeves. I thought that would be more my style. I might give this one a go at some point, but that's not what I'm making at the moment. Now I was quite lucky. I went into my local fabric store, First for Fabrics, to collect an order. So they were still doing click and collect while they've been closed. So I popped up last week to collect an order, and Julie, lovely Julie, who owns the shop, said to me, would you fancy sewing up the new Tilly and the Buttons pattern, which hadn't been released at that point, and you can choose a fabric from us and the notions, and that'll just help us to promote the new pattern. So obviously I said yes when I saw the pattern, because I thought I love it, and I love First for Fabrics too. So the fabric I chose to make it out of was this. It's a viscose, it's this amazing jungle print, and it's got a khaki background. They also had this with a navy background. Now it had sold out last time I checked, but I'm not sure if they're getting more of it in. They still had this khaki version at the time of me filming this. But it's absolutely beautiful. It's one of the softest fabrics I've felt. It's amazing. Before I go on to talk about my progress, this is the first Tilly and the Buttons pattern to be released in their new size range. So they've extended their size range. They previously went up to a Tilly and the Buttons size 10, and they've now extended that up to a size 15. I'll put all of the details in the box down below about what those sizes mean in inches so you can get a proper understanding, but it's great that they've now extended their size range properly. And unfortunately the extended version is only available as a PDF, which is a shame, but it's definitely a step in the right direction, a big step. So back to this. So I made a start on this, and you know, things were going well until I came to the collar. So on Thursday my mum came and looked after Taylor for me so that I could get on with sewing this, and I was hoping that I might even get it finished on Thursday. Well, I had the worst sewing day. Everything went wrong. It was just a disaster. So what happened was, this step here where you had to attach the interfaced side of the collar stand onto the collar piece. It says to the unstitched edge of the outer collar. I skipped the outer part, or just completely ignored it, and just thought, attach it to the collar, that's fine. I attached it to the wrong side of the collar. So the collar at that point was an interfaced piece and a non-interfaced piece joined together. I attached the collar stand, the interfaced collar stand, onto the non-interfaced side of the collar. I didn't realise, I just carried on, everything was fine. Until I got to, I think, the end of attaching the whole collar. So I'd done it all, attached everything. And then I realised. Now, when I put this on my Instagram stories, a few people replied and said, it doesn't matter, you can do it that way as well. And I thought, actually, I probably could have got away with it. However, they have you, when you are pressing the collar, they have you roll the seams slightly to the non-interfaced side, because that's the side that will be underneath. So the seams would roll slightly to that side so that you can't see the seams from the outside. So obviously I'd done that step. So when it came to me then attaching the collar and everything, because I'd attached it upside down, those seams were then visible from the top. So I sat and pondered whether to just leave it, you know, just carry on. But then I thought, no, it's going to bug me. That will always, always bug me if I leave it like that. Let's just unpick it. So I unpicked it all. I was a bit annoyed, but I unpicked it all, started again, attached everything. Now the only problem now was, because I'd trimmed down at every point, I'd trimmed down all of my seam allowances, I then didn't have much to play with, and I'd also lost all of my notches. So anyway, started again, attaching everything, sewing up the collar, thought I'd done everything right, went to do my buttonholes, and when it came to doing the top buttonhole, I put them together like this, and this side of the collar was way out. It was like here, up here. So they didn't meet in the middle, and I'd obviously attached it wrongly. So when I'd sewn the collar stand to the collar, I'd attached it wrongly, and the reason I'd done that is because I'd lost my notches because of trimming everything down. So at this point I was just ready to scream, throw it out of the window, and yeah, I was unhappy at this point. So I had to have a little breather, I had to step away from it because I knew I was going to have to unpick. And I thought, I can't unpick and then reattach this same collar again. I'm going to have to cut out the pieces, fresh collar pieces and collar stand pieces. I knew I didn't have much fabric left. I'd had 3 meters of this originally. You need 2.9 for the size that I'm making, and it's a directional print, so I didn't have much left over. But I thought, right, I'm going to go and cut the new pieces out. What I had to do was I cut one collar stand piece and one collar piece, absolutely fine. Now they then have you in the instructions cut out the second collar stand and collar piece on the bias, but I didn't have enough fabric to do that, so I just had to cut them out as normal on the normal grain line. And I managed to cut out, no, I didn't have enough fabric to cut either of them out, so I had to piece 2 bits of fabric together, sew them up on the machine and press the seam so I had a joined piece of fabric. I managed to then cut out my collar stand piece out of that, so my collar stand had a join in it, but it's barely noticeable and it's not seen because it's on the inside. And then I still didn't have enough fabric to cut out my other collar piece, so I had to cut my second collar piece in 2 with an extra bit for a seam allowance and join them together. So my under collar has a join at the back, but again it's on the underneath so you can't see. So anyway, you can imagine by this point I was just absolutely sick. I was so fed up. I was really fed up. And because I feel like my sewing time is so precious, because obviously it's very limited with having a baby, I don't get a lot of time to sew. My mum was looking after him, so that's really precious time to me, and I felt like I'd wasted the whole day. So I was in a little bit of an upset state. So anyway, I cut out my collar pieces, my new pieces, managed to piece them together, that was sorted. Interfaced them, And then I just thought I need to take a little break. So I did some tidying up, I had a little sort out of my sewing space, put some music on, poured myself a little glass of wine and just tried to forget about the disaster that had been my sewing day. And then over the course of that evening, and once Taylor was in bed, I then did reattach my collar, and this is the point that I'm up to now. So I've got a really lovely collar attached there. I'm really happy with that. I've got my buttonholes done down the front and I've opened those up using my buttonhole chisel. I haven't sewn the buttons on, it does tell you to, but I haven't done that yet. I've stay stitched at the bottom there just to join those 2 pieces together, and then yesterday, so Saturday, I've attached the 2 sleeves as well. I've also done a bit of work on the skirt and the tier pieces, so I've overlocked them, or I've attached the 2 tier pieces together and then finished the seam allowance. I've overlocked the edges of my pockets and I've put the pocket interface and strips onto the skirt as well. So next step is going to be sewing the pockets on. So I'm going to work on that tomorrow. My mum is here tomorrow, which is Monday. I'm filming this on Sunday, by the way. You might be watching this on Monday or Tuesday. So my mum's here tomorrow, so I'm going to carry on and I might even get this finished. We'll see. Anyway, so that's what I've been up to these past few days in sewing. I haven't actually done an awful lot. I finished that pattern test, which I'd actually started the week before, or maybe even the week before that. So I just finished that off, and then I've just been working on this. And that's all. Oh, I cut out a pattern a couple of days ago as well. I cut out the paper pattern for the Mile End sweater by Closet Core Patterns. So I'll hopefully be working on that, but I want to get this finished off first. One last thing to mention just before I go is I thought I'd just show you the book that I'm reading. I know it's not sewing related, but I've started this book yesterday or the day before, and I'm absolutely loving it, so I just thought I'd show you out of interest. It's called Little Disasters by Sarah Vaughan, and on the back it says, "A dark, cold Friday night, a night like any other, until a mother rushes into a busy A&E department with her baby daughter. The on-duty doctor is her best friend. What happens next will change everything. A doctor forced to make a decision, a mother living with the consequences." So yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. I'm quite far through already, as you can see, and it's really got me hooked, so I just thought I'd mention that. I'll update you once I get to the end and let you know if I've carried on enjoying it, but so far so good. Would highly recommend. And also this beautiful bookmark, which is from Resin by Natalie, who I'll link down below because I just absolutely love it. So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed this new chatty style of video and that you like it and you're looking forward to seeing more of them, and I hope you've enjoyed seeing what I've been getting up to this week. If you've got any questions about anything I've talked about, please leave them down below. Also, I am going to be filming my Q&A videos very soon, so if you do have any questions for me, either leave them on my community tab where I asked for questions, or you can leave them in the comments to this video and I'll add them to my list to be answered. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you again in my next video. Happy sewing! Bye!